All right, we're talking about this movie called Leave the World Behind. Let's just check it out. So we got Clay and his wife Amanda. Amanda's already making plans to go to this like summer beach or resort or something like that. It's basically a beach house in the middle of nowhere. So they both have to take the kids, Archie and Rose, because that's who the son is and that's who the daughter is. So they get out there to enjoy the house. The house is all fine and dandy, everything like that. So they got a pool in the backyard. The kids go swimming. And Amanda's about to go shopping. So she goes shopping, right? She ends up seeing some dude that she's putting the groceries in the car. They get looking back at each other a long time. So you think to yourself, do they know each other? Is it familiar? Like, what's the deal? Then it becomes late at night, and then all of a sudden they hear the knock at the door. They're like, who the heck is that? Turns out some dude named GH and his daughter Ruth. Now, apparently, this is their house. I guess apparently they're supposed to have rented it out to Clay and Amanda. But here's my thing. If it's his house, why is he knocking on the door? Why he ain't got a fucking key? So the situation is, he said it was a blackout in the city or whatever like that. He's trying to get to a certain spot, but he can't go up the steps because of his bad knee or whatever like that because of the blackout and power outages and stuff like that. So we're like, okay, what kind of excuse is that? So he wants to give him like half the money back just so they can stay there for like a night or whatever, right? So we're like, how's he gonna give him money? Turns out the locked cabinet full of booze or whatever like that, he did have a key for all this stuff. Now he pulls out the drawer, you see a couple of envelopes in there and a gun. He gives Clay the envelope for like $1,000 or whatever like that. Now, Clay is all good with it or whatever like that, but Amanda's paranoid. Like, she don't know what to do. So you're thinking to yourself, is it because she can't stand black people? No, she just can't stand people, period. Then she's worried about him doing something to the kids at night and all this other stuff. Like, she's coming up with all these crazy ass scenarios, and Clay's like, yo, just calm down now. I mean, the guy technically proved that was his house because he had keys to certain areas in the house or whatever like that, even though he didn't have a house key, but whatever. Rose gets out the pool at one point, sees a bunch of deer, right? She sees like 3, 4, 5 of them, but not realizing behind the trees or whatever like that, it's like 50 of them motherfuckers just standing there looking at her. I'm like, the heck is that about? So basically all the communication is knocked out. There's no satellite, no GPS, no nothing. Then they get like a thing on the radio or the TV saying that, electronics are down, all this other stuff. But then when they go to sleep, we see another message that says cybernetic attack across like the country or something like that. We're like, what the heck is that? Now, if we found out the only reason why it's GH and Ruth is because apparently his wife is on a trip or whatever like that. She's supposed to be switching planes or was supposed to be coming back that same or the very next night or whatever. So Amanda thought she got a message on the phone said cybernetic attacks, but when they tried to look it up again, there was nothing on the phone. So we're like, what the heck is going on? But she talks to GH and they don't think it's just that. They don't think it's just cybernetic attacks. They think hackers talk to programs or something like that. So we're like, who the heck could be hacking the system? So it gets to a point Rose wants to explore what's behind the backwoods or whatever like that, and Archie tags along with her. Clay's gonna go somewhere so he can get some information about all this. And GH is gonna go to his neighbor's spot, these people called the Huxleys, right? Well, he finds out the house been smashed into. He finds one of these like high-tech communicators or whatever. It's like a fancy walkie-talkie or whatever. He tries to get it to work on top of it. It doesn't work. Clay ends up seeing this Spanish lady in the middle of the road, but he can't understand nothing that she's saying. So he's like, he doesn't want to leave her, but he has no choice. He just leaves her. Archie and Rose end up stumbling into this shed or whatever like that. It's got like nothing but ropes in it and some other stuff. But it's like, okay, apparently somebody was living there. We don't know who. Clay ends up freaking out because this big thing is coming out, whatever like that, but it's dropping all these like red pieces of paper, so he starts spinning around, dripping. Because the thing is, he got lost. He don't even know where the heck he's going at this point because there's no GPS, no nothing. Meanwhile, GH goes around to the back area, and this shit is crazy, yo. He sees a watch on the beach, pulls up the watch, and it's attached to somebody's hand. You're like, oh shit. It's a pilot laying in the beach, done dead as shit. Then we see like these side angles about a fucking plane crashed into the entire beach. Half these niggas dead on one side, half these niggas dead on the other side. We're like, what the fuck happened? All of them finally get back to the house, and then Clay finally gets back to the house. This shit got crazy. So the family's like, yo, fuck this shit. We out, yo. So you think GH and Ruth are just going to be by themselves back at the house? Well, while the family's leaving, trying to drive back into the city, guess what? The only way to the city is crowded, right? It's a bunch of cars just flattening on the road. And then you look and you're saying to yourself, well, nobody's in these cars. Then she's looking at all these Teslas and whatnot. Turns to find out they're all factory Teslas. We're like, why the fuck are they just factory Teslas blocking up the road? And all of a sudden, some more Teslas start coming down the street. And they got to move out the way because apparently nobody's driving these Teslas. They're just like doing more blocking up the road. And you see all the roads being blocked off. So they ain't got no choice but to go back to the house. So it gets to this point, Rose is crying to Archie because this is running joke about her not being able to see the last episode of Friends. I'm like, oh my God. It's got meaning to why she cares about it, but then again, it really doesn't, but whatever. DGH is telling this story to Amanda about some dude he knew from the Pentagon or whatever like that. But he can't really tell the name, whatever like that, but it's like some type of secrets about knowing about different codes and things of that nature. He tells this messed up story, but then it's like, then she's trying to take the swing of things to cheer herself up. They start playing music or whatever. The selection of music in this movie does have a lot of variety in it, I'll give it that. But when you see it, you know what I'm talking about. Ruth is talking to Clay outside. They're like vibing, smoking vapes and stuff like that. And then Clay tells Ruth about the situation about the lady. He's the only person they told that to. And he feels bad about leaving her on the side of the road and shit. And then he was thinking to himself, what the fuck was she doing on the side of the road? That it was no car, no nothing. She was just there, like just waving off. And I'm like, how the hell did she even get there? Well, anyway. Oh yeah, Archie got bit by something in the woods, but that'll come up later. So anyways, Clay and Ruth was talking. All of a sudden, it was pouring down, raining. All of a sudden, a bunch of damn flamingos just landed in the pool and shit. I'm like, why are all these flamingos just chilling in the pool for no reason? They just staring over there. I'm like, what the heck is this? It seems like all the animals were trying to tell them something, but not sure what. Oh, it's one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning, right? So like, at first, we thought Rosie could see stuff because she kept seeing like animals and this, that, third. But she also saw this boat that was on the beach, right? Next thing you know, everything's chilling and the boat start getting closer and closer and closer. And then you see the boat runs up on the beach and we're like, oh, snap. But afterwards, all this other stuff happens. And then we find out about the whole communication thing and, you know what I'm saying, hacking the cybernetic world and things of that nature. But anyway, so we get to this point right the next day. We wake up. Rose is missing. And Archie wakes up and his teeth starts falling out and he's spitting out blood. We're like, what the heck happened to Archie? Maybe it was that thing that bit him in the forest? Who knows? Oh yeah, every now and then this Jonic sound wave would go off and it'd be just messing up people's ears and shit. I don't even know where it's coming from. So we found out the dude that Amanda seen early in the movie goes by the name of Danny, right? So now GH is going to try to figure out if this guy is still alive or whatever like that. And he's going to find out if he got some like medicine to help out Archie. So him and Clay and Archie are going to go together to find that out. Now, Ruth and Amanda are going to stay in the area to try to see if they can find Rose. So GH and them, they go to Danny's spot, but Danny's like, hey man, he's going back and forth with them. He's like, I'm just trying to help myself, trying to help my peoples, da da da. So, you know what I'm saying? Clay gives him this long talk, whatever like that. He ends up giving him some medicine and stuff like that. And he ends up giving him some money. So however good that's going to be worth, because it feels like everybody else is good at done your daddy shit. Now, on the other side, Amanda and Ruth, they end up going to this shed that they don't find nothing, right? So then I guess she talks about her stuff. They go back and forth. They have some bonding moment or whatever. So afterwards, they end up getting out the shed. Amanda's looking for tire tracks, right? So she's going towards the tire tracks, but Ruth is coming out the shed. As soon as she comes out, all these deer are staring in front of her face. We're like, what the fuck? It's like 50 of them or whatever like that. Amanda comes back. They all start yelling at the deer. The deer ain't going nowhere. And then I guess they did it enough times, and then they all just ran off. We're like, what the heck was they running from? So we get back in the car at GH, and then he starts telling him, he's like, man, when I was talking about some dude at the Pentagon, he's like, he said he knew something about these 3 stages or whatever like that. And he said whoever hacked into the system or shut down the computers or whatever like that, bottom line is whoever did it knew this was going to happen. This is going to be the chain of events that occurred. So I'm like, sure, let's just roll with that. So Amanda's looking towards these bike trails. She ends up seeing this house, but then Ruth is looking the other way. We're like, what the heck is Ruth looking at? So she goes over the roof and she sees like the city's being bombed and trashed all over the place. We're like, what the fuck is happening? Then they show a cut of this house run by the Thorns or whatever like that, and they started going through and throughout the house. Turns out Rose is the freaking house. So a while ago in the movie, GH said something about one of the people having like a bomb shelter in that house. That's the house that Rosie's in. The final scene is her going through it, breaking through the bunker or whatever like that. And it shows all this stuff, all this canned goods, everything that's been stored up, you know what I'm saying? All types of plant life, everything is established in there. And then the computer comes on and gives this message about the White House is in danger. Evacuates, going to be terrorists running around, all types of stuff, right? But this message was delivered to the computer like a week ago. It's a message they showed the audience. She didn't see it. So why did our brains come to this? Because when Clay got back to the house that one time when he got capped by that drone or whatever, one of the slips of paper said like "Death to America" or something like that on it. I don't know if it was written in Hebrew, Egyptian language or something, whatever like that. But Archie was the one that was able to translate it because he actually played a game that looked something like that. I don't know. This shit was weird. So Rosie sees all this stuff downstairs, and then she sees like this entire DVD collection or whatever like that. And of course, they have the box set of Friends. She turns it on, watches the last episode of Friends, and then that's the end of the movie. And we're like, what the fuck just happened? My question is, did the Koreans have anything to do with shutting down the globe just like Danny said? Was it a coup to break down communications? Because GH at one point said, yeah, he was trying to put up the big walkie-talkie or whatever like that. But the thing is, it didn't even work. Now, the thing is, it's supposed to work during close to the satellites or whatever like that. But the thing is, the satellites must have been knocked out of orbit. So who knocked out the satellites? I don't even know. The whole thing was bonkers, yo. Leave the World Behind on Netflix. Check it out.